Story time with Mama Liz. There's been some crazy things happening around my house, and it just makes me want to share this because a lot of people won't talk about things that make them go, huh? I will. Around last fall, end of summer, my husband brings in chunked up wood, and then he ricks it out because we burn wood in the winter. And so as he brings in the chunks, he lines it up on the fence, and then as he ricks it out, it moves and it disappears. As it has disappeared, every time it goes up the fence, my solar lights have been killed, destroyed. They no longer function. And they've gone out subsequently with the ricks of wood. And I'm like, maybe it's the cat. Maybe it's a hawk landing on the fence. Maybe it's God knows what. But it's freaking expensive, so could you stop? And my husband's just like, I'm not bothered. I don't know what it is. He's like, I know how much I love my lights because they give me a visual. They give me a wrap around my entire yard. And if somebody is in my yard, I can see. And I use that break in, just to make sure that there's nothing in my yard. You send people to prison for 7 years to think about these things. And so now they're going out. And so I finally got down to where I had 5 strings die. And the only thing was the one string on the other side, and all 5 of the others were dead. So all 5 around the barn lot in the back of the woods were dead. And I noticed that after Moses, our blue heeler, had died right before the new year, I noticed that last fall he began doing a notification bark to let me know David's home, because he really enjoyed seeing my husband come home. And so he would always give the same bark. And he would tell me, long before I could hear the truck, I would know my husband was on his way home because the dog would let me know. And I realized that he had been doing that and then running in his house and stopping really quick. So he was like, oh, yeah, nope. And I'd hear him slam into his house. And I would check on him sometimes and be like, are you okay? And I thought, he's getting old, he's getting senile. And he would look out at me and he'd be like, yeah, I'm good. Are you good? And I'd be like, what are you scared of, dog? He never would come out of his house. And then the next day he would be fine. And I'd be like, okay, whatever. You're getting old. Bless your heart. Gonna feed you better kibble and pet you more because bless your heart. And then lo and behold, he died. Well, when he died, the vet did find that he had a new heartworm infestation. But then some of the other damage that had been done to a couple organs was not really consistent. We talked about that. And it kind of stumped her. And I was like, huh. And she was like, maybe the coyotes come in and rolled him and you didn't know it. Maybe he'd gotten into a fight and you hadn't been home and didn't notice it. And I was like, I'm home all the time. I would have heard that. And so that just kind of, raised another confusion. And because he was so old, bless his heart, and the other issues that he had in his life, he just couldn't come back from that. And we lost him. And since then, it's been pretty quiet until the other night. And I noticed that since Moses passed away, my little dog Oscar has been like, he'll put his ears back and he'll look. He'll be like, did you hear that? Did you hear that? Like, paranoid. He's bug-eyed anyway, but he'd be like super paranoid. I'd be like, chill out. If something comes up to this house, it's very unlikely it's going to be bigger and meaner than me. So just chill out. And, yeah, the other night I got up and it was right around the time my husband should be getting home from work. So I thought, well, I'm going to jump in the bathroom and out really quick before he comes in. So I'm in the bathroom and all of a sudden I hear on the side of the house, right by the bathroom wall. And it was very hard raps. And I was like knuckle raps. And me being the person I am, who's hateful on a good day, was like, well, you're gonna have to wait. You locked your dumb butt out. I'm in the bathroom, so just get ready and wait. Nobody ever needs me until I'm in the bathroom. The life of a mom, and here I go ranting up the hallway. And then you have to beat on the side of the house and give me heart failure, And so I'm very irritated by the time I sling open the door thinking I'm going to see my husband there. And I'm going to be like, next time, just wait at the door and knock like a normal person, And I throw open the door and there's nothing. He's not home. And I step out. And it's eerily quiet. I mean, like, eerily quiet. We always have something moving around here. It's so quiet. And my cats weren't even on the porch. They're always on the porch. And I was like, this is so weird. And my cats go to the barn to sleep. And so I thought, well, they've gone to the barn. So that's not a big deal. But then my cats didn't come back for like 2 days. They're not like house cats, you know, they're barn cats. So my cats didn't come back for like 2 days. And my husband's like, when he got home, because about the time that I was looking around and realizing how quiet it was, lights crest the hill, and he's coming home. And I'm like, well, obviously it was not my husband, because it's one way in, one way out, and I would have heard him if he was trying to prank me. There's no way he can get that far away in the time that it took me to get up the hallway. And he's like, I didn't see anything. And he went in the house, unfazed. If you've seen my husband, he's 5'10", 5'11", 250. Yeah. He don't, nothing gets to him. He's, he's high on the totem pole. He don't really care unless you're right here giving him problems. You're not a problem. And I was irritated because I was like, what the crap was that? I was like, on the off chance it was somebody trying to be a butthole, I got the spotlight and went out and shined. And I had some very aggressive body language. And I actually said, you're going to cause yourself some problems if you start snooping around here in the dark. It's not a smart idea. Because I am always within just a few feet of a Rudy Tooty Point and Tooty. And so I left it at that, went back in, kind of stayed aware for an hour or two, just as I was watching some TV, and then went to sleep and slept fine. And it's been quiet since then. It's been quiet since then, until last night. And my son was here last night, right around the end of daybreak, or the end of daylight in the evening. And I was actually, if you watched my video from yesterday, it kind of freaked me out because I didn't know he had come in because I had the water running and I was doing dishes and I didn't hear his engine. And then all of a sudden my lights start flashing and I'm like, oh God, is there a tree limb on the electric lines? Are they cleaning up the storm damage still? What the crap? So I put on Facebook, I'm like, is anybody else's lights in the area flickering? And my son responds, he's like, Mom, it's me, I'm welding in the backyard. I'm sorry, I thought you were asleep. I didn't want to wake you up. And I'm like, okay, nope, not a problem. I just, thought Jesus was trying to communicate with me. But yeah, I'm glad now I know what it was. So I didn't really think of anything. And he was like, I'm leaving, I'm done. He was welding a little part on a roof rack. He's like, I'm done, you can go back to sleep. And so I settled in to watch a show and doze because I have to sleep a lot after these pancreatitis attacks. I'm just very lethargic. And I was laying there and all of a sudden, thump, on the side of the bedroom wall. Now this does not make me go, it makes me go, seriously? What the crap? Seriously? Because I don't play games. I don't enjoy games. You got a beef with me, you come have a beef with me. We'll have a beef. But I don't know what this was. And it could have been an owl flying into the house. Could have been a bat. Could have been God knows what. We've had owls and eagles land on the tin roof and slide down the tin. That's creepy. Even my husband has a fur shed. And from time to time he'll have a carcass that has to wait till the morning to be hauled off. Or to be, taken. Because other trappers use them as bait. And so every once in a while you'll get a bird of prey in the backyard. And you'll be like, oh, that's neat. But I really... I'm just like, what would have made that noise? And so I just kind of was like hyper aware again. Then I started thinking of putting it all together and I thought, what could it be? I have no idea. I know everybody has gotten, I've gotten some funny messages on the video I did because the thing being from rural areas is like, well, do you think Bigfoot's real? You spent all your time in the backwoods. Do you think Bigfoot's real? And I've spent a lot of time in the woods, ginseng and hunting and stuff like that. And I've had, a couple of freaky moments where I've been like, that is not explainable. And I hadn't had one of those in several years. And then the last few months I've had a few times I've been like, that is not explainable. So I don't know what it is. Guess we'll see. We'll find out together. And I'm just kind of perplexed at this point. Have no idea what it is. I know I'm not crazy because my dog heard it too. Oscar's like, holy crap, and I'm like, okay, well, you heard it too. I'm not crazy. I'm not an overreacting female. I'm very confident. I know it's not a bear because when they come through they have to chew something up. Oh my gosh, they're so destructo mongo, it's pathetic. They just mill around and get into crap, and and they're kind of cumbersome. And they'll blob up the side of the house or bump on the porch because they're wanting to see if you've got anything on the porch. But they always leave a telltale sign that they've been there. They always have to bite something. And there's been no sign. And the soil has not been very good for tracks because we've had so much weather and so much groundwater and standing water. So it's been very hard to go out and look and see if there's, you know, anything. But I've not seen any substantially heavy pock marks in the field or the yard where the water, you know, because when the yard's been wet, anything with any weight that walks through leaves, you know, if you're a tracker, you know the sign. I don't know what it is. We will figure this. This is going to be the ongoing saga. What the crap is in my yard? I guess we'll find out together. Or I could be crazy. Possible. If you have any ideas, put them down below. I've lived in the woods my entire life, and I've been like, I don't know what this is. I don't know what did that. I mean, I've had to get out and squall at bobcats that were doing mating calls in the barn lot so I could sleep. Shut the crap up. Go somewhere else. Take your girlfriend home. I've had to get out and squall at coyotes that have been coming up too close to the barn lot. I've dealt with everything. And this is just like, I've even gone on the back porch and squalled at a black bear. So I'm just like, I don't know what this is. I've dealt with everything. I don't know what this is. So if you have an idea, tell me below. Because I'm all out of ideas.